Hey everybody, I'm Ilham and welcome to the show. Now, I love this country. This country is the greatest country in the history of countries, and I'll fight anyone who says different. But I'll be honest, I haven't seen all of it. Get ready to explore some of the most iconic and breathtaking destinations across the country. So buckle up, grab your travel snacks, and get ready to be amazed. Let's dive right in. Okay, let's start with a bang, or should I say a canyon. The Grand Canyon, it's like Mother Nature took a giant carving knife and just went to town. And the color, sometimes you see pictures of places like this and you think, nah, they enhanced that. Not the Grand Canyon, folks. It's so vast, so awe-inspiring. It makes you feel like you're standing on the edge of the world. Next up, we're heading to Yellowstone National Park, a geothermal wonderland that'll make you feel like you've stepped onto another planet. I'm talking geysers erupting, hot springs bubbling, and bison roaming free. You know what's interesting about Yellowstone? It's technically on top of a massive volcano. I mean, it's dormant, at least for now, but still makes you think. And speaking of things that make you think, have you ever smelled a geyser? It's not great. Ah, Lady Liberty. This symbol of freedom and democracy has been welcoming immigrants and tourists alike to our shores for over a century. If you're ever in New York City, a trip to Liberty Island is a must. Chapter 4. Walt Disney World, the most magical place on Earth except when it's crowded. Hold on to your Mickey Mouse ears because we're going to the happiest place on Earth, Walt Disney World. From thrilling rides to enchanting shows, Disney World is a dream come true for kids and adults alike. Although, let's be honest, it's a lot more magical when you're not waiting in line for 6 hours for a 2-minute ride. And don't even get me started on the food. Chapter 5. Times Square, bright lights, big city, big headaches. Next stop, the city that never sleeps, New York City. And no trip to the Big Apple is complete without a visit to Times Square. Sure, it's crowded, it's loud, and it's full of tourists, but there's just something about that electric atmosphere that's contagious. The best time to visit? New Year's Eve, of course. Chapter 6. The Golden Gate Bridge, Orange. You glad you're not stuck in traffic? Now we're heading west to the Golden Gate City, San Francisco. And what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of San Francisco? That's right, sourdough bread. No, I'm just kidding. It's the Golden Gate Bridge. This iconic bridge is a marvel of engineering, and the views from the top are simply breathtaking. Just trust me, it's a sight you won't forget. Chapter 7. The Las Vegas Strip. What happens in Vegas ends up on social media. Get ready to roll the dice and hit the jackpot because we're going to Las Vegas. The entertainment capital of the world is a non-stop party, with casinos, shows, and enough neon lights to power a small country. Whether you want to see a world-class magic show, try your luck at the roulette table, or just wander around and soak up the over-the-top atmosphere, Vegas has something for everyone. Just remember, what happens in Vegas gets posted on Instagram. So Chapter 8, Niagara Falls. Don't forget your passport and a raincoat. Prepare to be wowed by the sheer power of nature at Niagara Falls. This natural wonder is actually 3 waterfalls straddling the border between the United States and Canada. Pro tip, bring a raincoat. You're going to get wet, trust me. Unless you're one of those people who wears those plastic ponchos. But hey, at least you'll stay dry, right? Chapter 9. Hollywood Walk of Fame, star-studded sidewalks and questionable hygiene. Lights, camera, action. We're heading to Hollywood, the land of fame and fortune, and probably a lot of Botox. Take a stroll down the Hollywood Walk of Fame, where you can see the names of your favorite stars immortalized in terrazzo and brass. And while you're there, check out nearby attractions like Grauman's Chinese Theatre and the Dolby Theatre, home of the Oscars. Chapter 10. Mount Rushmore. 4 presidents and a whole lot of dynamite. Next up, we're heading to South Dakota to see the presidents carved in granite, Mount Rushmore. This iconic monument is a testament to the artistry and ambition of man, and also to the power of dynamite. Seriously, those guys used a lot of explosives to carve those faces. Chapter 11. The French Quarter, New Orleans. Laissez les bons temps rouler. Get ready for some jazz, gumbo, and good times in the French Quarter of New Orleans. This historic neighborhood is a melting pot of cultures, with colorful architecture, lively music, and some of the best food in the country. And when I say food, I mean beignets. Seriously, you haven't lived until you've had a beignet from Café du Monde. Chapter 12. Alcatraz Island. Escape from reality and maybe prison. Next, we're taking a ferry to the infamous Alcatraz Island, once home to some of the most notorious criminals in American history. As Al Capone himself once said, it's a tough place to get a good bowl of soup, take a tour of the prison, learn about its infamous inmates, and try not to let the eerie atmosphere creep you out too much. Chapter 13. Washington, D.C. Monuments, History, Politics, and Really Good Museums. Our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., is not just about politics and power. It's also home to some of the most impressive monuments and memorials in the world. Plus, the museums are free. You can't beat that. Chapter 14. Miami Beach, sun, sand, and a whole lot of, well, get ready for some fun in the sun at Miami Beach. This iconic destination is famous for its white sand beaches, Art Deco architecture, and vibrant nightlife. Chapter 15. Yosemite National Park, half-dome giant sequoias and the occasional bear encounter. Prepare to be awestruck by the grandeur of Yosemite National Park. From the towering granite cliffs of El Capitan and Half Dome to the majestic giant sequoia trees, Yosemite is a nature lover's paradise. Just remember to keep your distance from the wildlife, especially the bears. They may look cuddly, but they're not afraid to steal your picnic basket. Trust me, I've seen it happen. Chapter 16. Central Park, New York City's backyard, except it's way cleaner. Escape the hustle and bustle of New York City in the heart of Manhattan. Central Park. This urban oasis is a great place to relax, go for a jog, have a picnic, or take a romantic carriage ride. Chapter 17. The White House, the People's House. Unless you want a reservation, then it's really hard. No trip to Washington, D.C. is complete without a visit to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The White House. Take a tour of this historic residence, learn about the presidents who have lived there, and maybe even catch a glimpse of the current commander-in-chief. Just don't expect a mint on your pillow. Route 66. Get your kicks on America's Main Street. Get ready for the ultimate American road trip on Route 66. This iconic highway stretches from Chicago to Los Angeles, taking you through some of the most quintessential American landscapes and towns. It's the stuff of legends, and it's waiting for you on Route 66. Chapter 19. Space Needle, Seattle, up and away, but don't look down. Next stop, the Emerald City, Seattle. And what better way to see the city than from the top of the Space Needle? This futuristic tower offers breathtaking views of the city, Puget Sound, and the surrounding mountains. Just a word of advice. If you're afraid of heights, maybe skip this one. Chapter 20. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Aloha from the Ring of Fire. Last but not least, we're heading to the Aloha State, Hawaii, and specifically Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, where you can witness the raw power of Mother Nature at its finest. Hike through volcanic craters, walk through lava tubes, and maybe even catch a glimpse of molten lava flowing into the sea. Thanks for traveling with us. Well, folks, there you have it, the 20 must-visit places in the USA. From coast to coast, this country is full of incredible destinations just waiting to be explored. So what are you waiting for? Pack your bags, grab your sense of adventure, and get out there. And don't forget to share your travel photos with me on social media.